Well, I think every chef is remembered for few dishes, even if he created thousands of them. For example, if I'm thinking of Thomas Keller, I am thinking of the oyster and pearl. You think about David Chang, for example, right away you think about the pork buns. You could have had the pork buns before, but once you have the one of David Chang, you don't want to go back anywhere else. For me, for example, the Paupiette of sea bass. And what's interesting with the recipe, which is often a classic, is how simple recipe can be. And this one has only 4 ingredients. So you start with a sea bass or a striped bass. Then after, it's about potato, it's about leek, and it's about red wine sauce, like a beurre rouge. So we have to go back a little bit in time. 1985, when I decided to leave the Plaza Athénée to go and work at Le Cirque, I went a couple of months to Europe. Freddy Girardet was making a red mullet with little tiny scale of zucchini on it, like recreating the scale of the fish. I found that very beautiful on a beautiful sauce. And then I go to Paul Bocuse, and Paul Bocuse is doing a red mullet, but with a scale of potatoes. But he was really painstaking to cut little rings of potatoes and putting them next to each other. And so I came back to New York, started at Le Cirque, and I wanted to create some new fish dish because they were really sunk into very old classic French food. Sergio Maccioni hired me to revamp Le Cirque and to change. And so one of the dish, I said, wow, that crispy potato with that fish, I really liked it, but nothing's gonna work for me because I don't have the labor, I don't have the time. We have to do too many covers at Le Cirque. And at the time is when we started to have Japanese mandolin also, those very thin, where you could cut things super thin and very even. And I started to play with the Japanese mandolin. And what's unique about the recipe is the Idaho potatoes. They can get very big when you take the very large one. So I made bandlet of potatoes next to each other, put a fillet of sea bass inside, close it, and roast it like this. And by the time I cooked the potatoes, the sea bass was perfectly cooked. And I had a winner right then. Never changed the recipe after that.